Welcome, Raccoons, to reality TV cringe.
Hi, party people.
Are y'all ready to cringe?
Are y'all ready to rock?
Because this 90-Day Fiancé, The Last Resort, is quite possibly the most ridiculous thing I have ever watched in all of my life. And I've been alive for many, many years and married for many, many years.
Yes, and many times.
Yes. I've seen a lot of naked bodies, therefore.
But nothing like Big Ed, though.
Nothing like Big Ed. I've never seen anything like Big Ed. What is happening?
Ooh, he is not ashamed of his body.
I mean, and that's freeing.
Yeah, you know.
That's got to be liberating. I mean, you got to kind of deeply respect that, right?
Oh, totally. I wish I had his confidence.
To just like stand up out of that hot tub. And I was trying to like look in the pixelations to see like, okay, where does it start and where does it end? And it doesn't look like it starts anywhere.
It's kind of hidden.
It's kind of tucked in. Oh my God, we have so much to talk about, Raccoons.
We do.
Needless to say, I'm a bit scandalized.
Oh, me too. I watched that episode last night with my wife and I was dying laughing and she was embarrassed. She's like, I gotta get up out of here.
Like secondhand cringing, embarrassing. Like, do you guys realize that there are cameras rolling right now? Like that people are gonna see this in America and
they
perhaps
think
other
they're
countries
hot and
as
sexy.
well?
They think they're hot and sexy.
And I kind of love that for them.
Yeah.
But I want them to stop it immediately. So fucked up. Okay.
For real.
Before we get into this episode of Relative Cringe, we do want to just give a disclaimer. We are not a politically correct podcast, and I don't know why you would have thought that we were. We say bad words. Yeah. We have dumb takes, and we don't word police. So if you're offended easily, get into the basement with Christine. She'll make you a nice breakfast. You stay down there.
Yeah. Also go follow us on Instagram at Reality TV Cringe. And we have a Patreon, patreon.com/Reality TV Cringe, where we have tons of bonus content, bonus podcast episodes, full video content, video reactions to our favorite shows, a monthly Raccoon Kiki where we talk about whatever the fuck we want and answer questions from you guys.
That sounds like a lot of content.
And it's all ad-free, baby.
And last but not least, we do have a speak pipe. This is a little page you can go to and you can leave us a goddamn message. It's up to 90 seconds long. You can say whatever you want. All you have to do is go to speakpipe.com/reality TV cringe. Link in the description. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, and it can be anonymous too. And you can leave us dirty secrets.
Oh, God.
We'll play it on the pod.
Oh, yes, we will. Okay. 90-Day Fiancé. The Last Resort, Season 1, Episode 2, entitled Dead Last. How about some overarching, is it arching or arcing? I always get that wrong.
Arching?
Overarching takeaways and ideas about this episode and or show.
Well, it was kind of boring besides the naked parts, besides Big Ed just stripping naked in that weird janky fucking hot tub on the beach.
With all of those crusty people stuffed into the hot tub.
And then Angela just barging in and he just stands up with his dingleberry out. I'm just like...
I mean, isn't that a form of actual assault? I feel like that, and we're in America where this is being filmed. I think it's somewhere in the Keys. I think if you stand up and show me your fucking dick, that's against the law, my guy.
Oh, totally. But Angela flashed him too. So, I mean, it's also...
Both of these
like, I don't want to see that either.
And both of these people are in their 50s. They're in their 50s.
Could you imagine doing that?
No, well, I'm not in my 50s. How dare you? Like, legit, how dare you? You keep trying to make me a boomer, and I'm not a boomer. I'm a young Gen X. I'm an old millennial / young Gen X. Fuck you!
I'm dying.
We'll wait.
No, we have a fucking thing that we've been doing lately where every time I greet her, I say, "Hi, older hoe," because she calls me hoe, and then we swap it.
I call you old hoe.
Yeah, you call me old hoe. You just
turned 27.
How dare you?
Which is really old. And I'm like, "Hi, old hoe. You're literally an old hoe." And so she started calling me an older hoe. But like trying to lump me in with fucking Big Pred and Angela.
I'm sorry, but he's part of your generation.
Is the worst insult. They're literal boomers.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Is Big Ed 57?
I know Angela's 57. I think Big Ed is, let me fix my wig and think about it. I think Big Ed is like 57.
Oh my God, so he is a boomer.
I think they're boomers. Shit. I'm not a boomer, so I'm offended. I'm offended. On behalf of all of you Gen X's out there, I am offended. What were we saying though before you insulted me?
that Big Ed and Angela both sexually assaulted each other.
They did. And
flashing each other.
They're like very assaulty generally.
Oh, totally.
Just
abusive.
All of their shows.
Yeah.
Across the years. They have like bad behavior.
Oh, totally.
And I just can't imagine being that age and thinking it's okay and or attractive or like that anybody wants to see that. Well, even Liz doesn't want to see that.
Delulu. Liz is such an enigma to me because I'm like, why are you even with this dude? Why are you with him? She can't actually be in love with him. Is she?
Stranger things have happened.
I'm like you never so many other
can
things
account for hormones and pheromones and chemistry, but I just can't imagine a world where any young woman, I mean, compared to me, apparently, she's like 31 or something. She's 30. She's your age. So that a young woman would be even remotely attracted to that man. And we're not going to body shame. And we talked about this extensively, like, because we really want to. I really want to. I'm from another generation where we did not give a fuck. And all we did was body shame.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do it because I've grown. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm evolving.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
You literally had to text me today. She was like, we can't body shame on this pod.
But I had to give you my thoughts on every single one of them because I'm just aghast at the entire thing. Like you're putting yourselves on maximum display.
National television.
You're forcing me to watch it because this is my job. And I'm offended. And I feel criminally assaulted by Big Ed.
Oh, me too.
I feel criminally assaulted by Molly and Angela in the pool twerking. What are you doing?
Why are you twerking in the water?
Somebody help. I just don't understand.
Why are you twerking in the water
So these are our major takeaways. We're just aghast. And I was reading some of the comments on IG today because you were putting up some slides. And I'm like, oh my God. And people are like, this is the trashiest of all shows. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Somebody commented on our post today that said this show is heinous.
It is. It's heinous.
I know. It's ridiculous. I was also watching this episode thinking, this has got to be all fucking scripted. Like, this is all just a sham, I feel like.
I mean...
It kind of gives me those vibes. Like, Jovi and Yara don't seem genuine to me.
They're there for the check.
Yeah.
They're there because when you compare and contrast, they are incredibly good looking.
Yeah.
Compared to the rest of the cast. Every time
sure.
Yara is wearing those spandex shorts, I'm like, is everyone else looking at her vagina?
Oh, totally.
Am I wrong?
Totally.
Just like her vagina. It's like, okay, I see your vagina.
I know. Yeah.
But I'd rather see that vagina than Angela's vagina last week with the fucking leggings. Jesus Christ. This is the kind of podcast it's going to be this week because this show is really not giving much. It's just giving us.
It's ridiculous. This episode was totally ridiculous. It was hilarious because it was so cringeworthy, but it's totally ridiculous.
Yes, it is. So why don't we dive into it?
Yeah.
So we catch up with this menagerie of melons at the last resort. It's the same night of therapy last week when Kalani revealed the shocking fact that S1E2 had a yeast infection on his tongue from kissing some rando Samoan girl and or going down on her punani, which is just making me sick as thinking about it. And then S1E2 learns that Kalani not only kissed somebody with her hall pass, she had oral sex, and then she had sexy sex.
Sexy sex. And she's been talking to this guy the entire time.
I showed you his picture. What did you think?
I mean, he's way cuter than S1E2.
I mean, not cute though, but I mean, way.
You know, if they were the only two men left on the planet,
yeah, you're picking not S1E2.
Yeah,
the other guy. So she told him that she's had an actual sexual relationship, an actual sexual affair. Of course, you know, the internet was divided as to whether we were team Kalani or team S1E2. And at the end of the day, I think we're like team neither of you. You both really suck and lack morals and integrity.
Totally. I mean, I would probably lean a little bit more towards S1E2 at this point, but both of them suck. Yeah. Like hardcore.
I didn't realize that he was 21 when they got married.
Oh, yeah. He was hella young.
I didn't realize he was that much younger than her. So That's kind of a little bit predatory, even though she was a virgin and from a Mormon family.
Yep.
And it's obvious that she wanted to just get it over with so she didn't have to be a virgin anymore. But it's kind of terrible to take advantage of a young, not-intelligent person and then swindle them into a marriage.
I actually have some info about that on her Instagram.
Okay.
You want me to go get my phone so I can show you?
Yes, go get it.
Okay, so I was on Kalani's Instagram the other day because she was answering fan questions.
Right.
And she answered one in particular about her and Asuelu, and I'll just read you her response because somebody had asked her, was Asuelu really the first? And she said, I was raised Mormon and I was saving myself for marriage. Fair. When I left the church, I told myself I'd sleep with the first person I loved. That happened to be Asuelu 8 months after I met him. I was 1 month away from being 29. People wait longer than that. It really wasn't that big of a deal. If you get told your whole life that sexual sin is next to murder, it kind of fucks up your outlook on sex. Even in the beginning of my marriage, I would feel disgusting and guilty after sex. That's why the cheating was so devastating. I hadn't shared my body with anyone else at that point.
Okay, so wait, let me just clear up that timeline. So she meets Asuelu but doesn't have sex with Asuelu for 8 months after meeting him?
That's what she's
because
saying.
I thought she traveled to Samoa and he was like working at a resort there and they banged while she was visiting.
That's what I thought too. And so I'm like, are you changing the script? Or is that what really happened? And maybe we just got like the TLC edited version when you were on the actual season. I don't know.
Okay.
But that's interesting. I'm like, okay, so you did fall in love with him after? I mean, so you knew the kind of person he was then if you were with him for 8 months, right? I mean, I know it may have been long distance, but like you knew he was hella immature. You knew he was super young.
She'd have to.
Like,
I mean, isn't she kind of like the equivalent of a passport bro? Like she couldn't find somebody in America who would want to be with her because she's constantly shrieking and bullying people. And so she had to fly over to Samoa and meet Asuelu, who was 19 years old and innocent and non-developed in his brain. I mean, specifically in his brain, he's non-developed. And then sleep with him, get pregnant, and kind of like, I'm not saying she trapped him because he was a willing partner, but there's just something about her.
I know. It's really unlikable.
Very toxic.
Very fucking toxic.
The way she talks to him, like she's abusive. When we get to the obstacle course and how she's screaming at him, I'm like, you two know this is being filmed, right? And we can all see you and how you treat people.
Oh, for sure. And the fucking therapists were like, obviously you guys have terrible communication because all you do is just bully him and yell at him and he shuts down because he doesn't respond well to that. And she's like, well, but he doesn't listen. Like nothing's ever her fault.
Right.
And she never takes any kind of ownership or accountability because at the beginning of this fucking episode, Asuelu is asking her if she's still talking to her hookup guy and if she has feelings for him. And she says yes. She's like, but what do you expect? And then they're arguing about the act of cheating. And he's like, well, I'm really upset and hurt. And she's like, well, why? Because you gave me the hall pass. That's fair. But he's like, but it was just a blowjob and I'm not talking to the girl.
Right.
And she's like, well, but what's the difference between me and having sex?
That's what she's doing. She's like, what's the difference? I'm like, what do you mean, what's the difference?
I know.
It is obvious what the difference is.
Right.
He had a one and done. It was wrong. He transgressed. He admitted it, or you had to get it out of him, whatever. You are continuing in a relationship and you are emotionally involved with somebody. That's way worse. So don't act dumb, Kalani.
I know.
And she's yelling at him and he's crying, but he's always crying. When is he not crying?
Right.
But she's yelling at him. He's crying and she's like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want you to be in the room tonight. I'm just like, God.
So fucking dismissive.
I would rather sleep under a coconut tree than sleep in that room with her.
Oh, for sure. And like he's straight up telling her it's not the same because you're still talking to this guy and you could have gotten pregnant. And she's like, well, what's the difference? You got a blowjob. I'm like, he can't get somebody pregnant from a
She knows that's the thing. She knows
so
what the difference is, but she also knows that he doesn't have the abilities of articulation to actually have that argument with her, so she can push him around, and so she does. That's what makes her a bully. I'm not saying she was wrong for using her hall pass.
Right.
I can even say like, hey, I understand how you would use your hall pass, and you've only ever been with Asuelu, and now you're kind of hooking up with this handsome dude, and maybe he's slanging the D, and it feels real good. I get it.
Right.
But the way you act is so fucking awful. I have to root for Asuelu.
Yeah, for sure. Because he seems like the only one that's trying to work on the relationship. She's done.
Why do you think he wants it so much?
Because of his kids, maybe. And maybe he knows that it would be a disgrace. Like if he just comes home and like he doesn't have contact with his kids. I mean, look at fucking, you remember Devin and that Korean guy from 90 Day Fiancé, and now he doesn't get to see the kid that they had together. And
what was the baby's name?
Taeyang.
And didn't the baby get cancer?
He has leukemia right now.
And so the father doesn't get contact with the baby. Yes, it's a terrible situation. So I can see why maybe he wants to make it work. Plus, you know, I don't know what the quality of life is going to be for him in Samoa. Maybe it's awesome, but it's a different kind of life. And maybe he wants to stay in America.
Yeah.
But like he probably should have put that kind of effort into the relationship a bit earlier, because I think Kalani is just over him.
Totally.
She doesn't have anything for him, and we're about to put this one to sleep.
Oh, for sure. I don't even know why they're on this show.
I don't either.
More of a check.
So that was the ending of the night with Kalani Asuelu. We wake up to the pool scene with Angela and Molly. This is before the obstacle race. And Molly's at the pool. Angela comes traipsing in with her, like, I mean, it is a one piece technically, but it is like such a scantily
lots of holes
clad, like it's just like
skin.
holes, like, and I'm just like, I don't want to, I can't, I have questions. I have so many questions. I mean, I'm younger than Angela, but I'm like of a certain age, according to Beatrice. And I would just be like, I don't know. I'm already so hyper conscious of like my body, as most raccoons know. And I'm always like thinking about like, what am I going to fucking wear? And I've got to cover up because I don't want to be like, I can't imagine a world where I'm stepping out in a resort with a bathing suit like that.
I couldn't even do that.
But on the other side of that, the shadow side of that, or maybe the light side of that, I'm like, so much respect that you are feeling yourself so deeply that you're like, yes, bitch, look at all this jiggle. Don't fold. I mean,
she's a sexy Mima. That's her whole identity, because she thinks she is hot as fuck. And you know, more power to you, Angela. But
we're all thinking it. You know, we're all thinking it. We're all seeing it. We all have eyes that see, for the most part. Not everybody has eyes that see, but I'm just saying, for the most part, we have eyes that see.
Yeah.
Plus, we have ears that hear. I have never heard a more annoying voice than Molly's. And Angela's.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like,
Angela's laugh drives me nuts. Every time I hear it, I'm just like, stop.
It's a cackle.
Stop
it's a witch's cackle.
Total witch's cackle.
I mean, I would have trained myself away from fucking cackling or sounding like a nasally Georgia peach.
Oh, my God.
Because you know I come from Hawaii, right?
Of course,
and you know I was functionally illiterate for most of my life while I was there.
Yeah.
Until I moved to the mainland when I was in my middle 20s. But like, if you had known me when I was 19 years old, you would not have recognized how I spoke, because I sounded dumb.
Well, and isn't it
what?
Pigeon talk?
Pigeon English. I wasn't dumb. I was intelligent, but it was the vernacular and the way we spoke in Hawaii.
Right.
But when I moved to the mainland and I had to become gainfully employed and I was kind of now in a different culture, I trained myself away from speaking in that way.
Yeah.
I can still go back and I can speak that way. It's still in me, but like I adapted based on kind of my environment. And I don't know, I'm going a long way around saying, if I heard myself back on television, if I watched this fucking video back and I heard myself cackling like that, I would train myself to sound better to somebody's ear.
Right.
Is that not it?
That's exactly it. But
that's
with more of a smoker's gravel. Yeah.
It's crazy to me. And Molly is really no better.
Oh my God, she's annoying.
So they're in this pool and they're talking about Molly and Kelly, and Molly is so confused because, you know, I don't really know what I want. I think I might want it, but then I don't want it. When we know what's really happening is Kelly assaulted your daughter in November of 2022. This is being filmed in January of 2023. And you are upset about that.
Of course.
And wouldn't it be cool if you actually told the truth and we could all have a moment of transparency and authentic discussion? I'd like that.
But, you know, they got to get that sweet TLC check. If she ain't got no man, she can't be on this fucking show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she had Luis, who came from, I don't know, fucking
Dominican Republic.
Is that where he came from? I don't
the DR,
remember.
baby.
I don't remember.
From the DR to give her the D.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he quickly fucking left because she's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like, she's got to get the money. She's got to stay relevant.
He was a swindler and a grifter.
100%.
So terrible. Okay, I'm just saying. I hated Luis in that season.
Me too.
I mean,
yeah.
I thought Molly was like a girl boss and awesome. But like in the subsequent seasons, I'm like, ooh.
I don't think she is. I think it's just kind of a grift for her, really.
And I think she's really pissed. I think she's really mad.
Yeah.
At the time of this filming, it's been, 2 months? And so she's carrying that around and we're not talking about it. So we're pretending to be enjoying the pool with Angela, worried about what I'm going to do about Kelly, who assaulted my daughter.
Right.
And now I'm going to twerk.
With Angela, because apparently everybody's best friends with Angela on this fucking cast right now.
And then I know, I can't.
It's weird, right? So Molly and Kalani love Angela. Like, why? I think that's TLC
they're
on purpose.
Trying to sidle up to Angela to get on her good side, because if Angela pops off at you, it's going to become a bad scene, which is going to be next week when she gets into a fight with Liz.
Yeah.
And then all shit's going to go down. But that's probably why they're trying to align with Angela. But like, they're literally twerking in this pool. There's some 45-year-old soccer mom trying to fucking enjoy her morning with her coffee just 3 feet away.
And she has to hear Angela and Molly fucking shouting and twerking. And oh my God.
Lord Jesus. Now you said you saw, upon forensic examination of the footage, you saw something called a granny pad with Angela. And I'm like, what the fuck is a granny pad?
Yeah, like, one of those like always pads, like for incontinence. You know what I'm saying? Like, those pads. That
there was not an incontinence.
It straight up looked like one.
Pad.
I swear to God. swear to God, in her fucking swimsuit, there was a little thing that was hanging out at the side. And it looked like a pad, fold, That's what it looked like to me.
Oh,
I don't know.
God, okay.
Or maybe it was her lips.
No. Look like an incontinence pad? Oh my God. I just don't understand why scientifically you would need to wear an incontinence pad and go into a pool. Isn't that grody?
I don't know. People do that all the time.
Why wouldn't you just pee in the pool? You obviously have no class anyway. Just pee in the fucking pool.
People do that all the time.
Okay. See, this is how trashy we're getting. This is how trashy this fucking show is.
Well, we are in a dumpster.
We are in a dumpster, so we're eating the trash and we're sharing it with you.
Yeah.
We are serving it up.
You're welcome.
We are your waitresses here in the fucking dumpster. So that was weird.
Totally
and
weird.
I had to bleach my eyes.
I know.
It was terrible.
I was scarred for life.
Next, we have the obstacle course. We have our little group exercise.
Yeah.
We're really trying to learn
the group therapy.
How we actually communicate to each other. And so if we blindfold one of you and let the other one direct you through this dumbass fucking cheap obstacle course made with Coke bottles and fucking hula hoops and stuff. I'm like, what's going on?
On the fucking beach with other people walking around just watching these people.
Trying to enjoy their vacation
For
they
real.
saved up for 2 years to go to. And we've got this menagerie of melons.
Dude.
Doing this shit.
If that happened when I was on vacation there, I'd be like, can I get a full fucking refund? Because I don't want to be around these people.
Would love it.
I would.
You would be fucking filming from... You would be vaping and filming.
Well,
from
yeah,
your room.
probably Big Ed.
Yeah, you would love that shit. So they're doing this obstacle. And of course, Angela doesn't have a partner to do the obstacle course with because Michael is still living in an iPad. He's trapped in an iPad. Did you ever see the old Superman with the 3 people from his home planet who come back and then he puts them in these mirrors and stuff? And anybody, I know I'm old, but then he kind of consigns them to these mirror things and then they kind of fly away. Anyway, Michael's in a mirror. Michael's in an iPad. Michael is not with us, but he's pretending that he cares. He's pretending that he's there.
Yeah, even though it's 2 a.m. I'm like, so you make him get on this fucking Zoom call on this iPad to just stand there and watch these couples do this stupid fucking obstacle course. And okay, so Angela and Jovi pair up because she doesn't have a partner. And it's so Yara doesn't get to do the communication exercise.
Jovi did it with Yara.
Did she? Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't even pay attention.
Yeah, Jovi did it with Yara and then Jovi did it with Angela. Okay, so you were
stupid.
vaping?
Yeah.
So you were drinking?
100%. It's the only way I could get through all of these naked scenes, dude.
Yeah, I know. You have to anesthetize.
I mean,
put me under, doctor. Shit. Please, if you could just give me
some
some drugs. Yeah, so Jovi did go with Yara, and then Jovi went with Angela. Of course, Jovi and Angela end up winning the obstacle course. Big Pred ends up cheating.
I know.
So obviously cheating.
And then he gets mad when everybody calls him out for cheating.
Yeah.
I think it was Molly or Kelly.
It was Kelly.
That called him that.
Yeah.
A cheater.
And then Ed calls Kelly a bitch.
I know.
Kelly, who I don't really know this dude, but I do know that he's a former NYPD police officer.
Yeah.
And he could probably take you, Ed.
I could take Ed. I think anybody could take Ed.
Ed is a Kondo Aikido master.
A Yondan Aikido.
What is it? Yondan? I don't know. Is it
Aikido.
Kondo? Is it Kondo? Like, what?
Yondan Aikido. 4th degree. I had my wife look that up because, she's big into the martial arts and stuff.
Yeah.
And she looked it up and she's like, this fucker thinks he's a 4th degree black belt in Aikido.
He said that real fast. Like it was either true or he practiced that.
Yeah.
Like he's a fucking 4th degree black belt.
Yeah. No. No way, dude.
He looks like one of those Eminem mans. Sorry. What is it? What is it?
That's so funny.
What is it?
No.
I'm sorry. What is it?
I keep it?
No, I'll just keep it in. He looks like one of those Eminem mans. I was going to edit it out. But I mean, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
It's fucking like just all a circle and then like 2 fucking toothpicks. And you're a 4th degree black belt in Aikido. Okay. My father did Aikido.
Really?
Yeah, he did Taekwondo and he did Aikido. And he actually competed in tournaments. And
was he good?
I mean, I guess. My dad was a bit of a narc.
Yeah.
I mean, he was good at everything. But like he had an Aikido sword and like we grew up with that. I wish I had it now. But like, so he brings out Aikido. You know who else did Aikido was Steven Seagal.
Wow.
And Steven Seagal is such a turbo douchebag.
Yeah.
Dude. And so is Ed. I'm just trying to get back to Ed. Anyway, so Ed gets mad. He has the audacity because he's a 4th degree black belt in Aikido to call Kelly, a former NYPD detective, a bitch.
Yeah.
And Kelly's like,
don't call me a fucking bitch.
This guy just called me a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
And he like lets it go in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But he's storing it away.
Of course.
In his head. And he's going to address it later in this hot tub from hell.
Yeah.
The hot tub slime machine.
Yeah.
It's fucking slime machine.
For real.
We get the bleach after that.
Seriously.
So after this riveting obstacle course, we have a sit down with a therapist to kind of just download.
Yeah.
Like, what are your major takeaways as a relationship, as a couple? What did you learn about yourself from running around these Coke bottles?
And your communication styles. Yeah. And I mean, they start with Kalani and Asuelu, I'm pretty sure. And they're like, well, we don't communicate well. And the therapists call them out for Kalani being an asshole and just yelling at Asuelu. And Asuelu's like, I don't like when she yells at me. And everybody's like, yeah, no shit. She sucks. You both suck. You guys should break up. And then we get to Jovi and Yara.
Yes.
And this buildup.
Yes.
For Yara to bring up this terrible secret that she's been keeping from Jovi, which I called last episode.
Well, that's because you're a fake psychic and you're accurate.
Fake psychic.
You are accurate. You're like, ooh, I'm picking it up. I'm reading the timelines. And you're always right.
I am always right. And the stupid secret that we had this whole big old buildup for was that she's just taking birth control. And she didn't tell him.
Who cares?
That's not that big of a deal to me,
Yeah.
I don't think. Like, it's not like she got a full-blown hysterectomy and didn't tell him. They're just on here for the clout. I think it's all fake.
I think Jovi looked pretty embarrassed that she brought it up in front of all these fucking losers.
Yeah.
And these rando counselors. He's like, we could have talked about it. Like, I'm not going to force you to have my baby.
Of course.
I understand. Yes, I really want it. I want to continue to have the conversation, but I'm not going to make you have my baby. So we could have talked about this. You didn't have to say it in front of Big Pred.
Who he really does not like.
Right.
And I think he said that in their talking head too. He's like, you could have just come to me privately and we had a conversation. She's just said she felt like he would still push it and he would force her to have a baby, which is just all a bunch of bullshit.
And I'm bored.
Yeah, nobody cares.
I'm bored. They go to Molly and Kelly and they're basically like, you guys did pretty well. And Molly's like, well, that's because I made sure to let him lead.
Yeah.
Because all I want to do is see if he can, because he doesn't do shit. He came to Georgia. He didn't do anything. I had to take care of him and I hate him. Plus he assaulted my daughter.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, moving on.
Why are they even on this show, dude?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I know that Kalani and Asuelu brings up in front of everybody to the therapists that Kalani is continuing to talk to her boy toy, which previously nobody else knew. They had talked about that in private. And the counselors are kind of like, oh, well, it's kind of a bad idea if you're in marriage counseling, group intensive counseling, to like talk to your affair partner throughout it and develop emotional feelings. So do you think, Kalani, we don't want to like push you or anything because we're scared of you, because everybody is scared of you.
For real.
But I'm wondering, would you be okay with maybe just like toning that down a little bit, maybe not talking to him while we're here? You know, I don't know. What do you think?
Is that okay? Are you able to do that? And she says to Asuelu, well, I would like to offer you the courtesy of me blocking this guy for that to make you feel comfortable. And he just goes, yeah, I'd like that.
Oh, he doesn't just say, I like that. He's like, I have hope now. I believe we can be a family. I have hope now. Like, he really hooks into that and thinks that this is going to be like something that'll give them a fresh start. Nope. Whereas everybody else watching, all of us raccoons know that she's just doing this for the gram. She's doing it to say that she did it. She's doing it for the check. And as soon as she's gone, she's going to go back to her side dick.
100%.
Because it's better.
Yep.
And he's probably more intelligent. No offense, Asuelu, if you're watching.
And why he listens to her body.
Yeah. And it's like when we're having sex, he cares about my pleasure. Unlike you just jackhammering the entire time. Yeah. So, I think she was implying that.
Yeah.
And then we get to Angela, who's there with the iPad. And she says something like, you know what? If I can forgive Asuelu, who actually had in real life relations with some hoe and Samoa, then why can't I find it in my heart? Sorry, I'm going crazy. To forgive my cow, who only cheated
online. Allegedly.
Here's my question to you. In some season, like a recent season, wasn't she talking to somebody online?
Yes.
Some guy
on TikTok. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Accuracy of it all.
Yes. And you know, without a shadow of a doubt, Mike Al is still cheating on her in fucking Africa, dude. I swear to God. Are you kidding me? Like, anybody with a fucking brain would know that he's still cheating on her. He's like, okay, now I just can't do it online where she can find out. I mean, come on.
I just feel like it's so preposterous.
It's so ridiculous.
Can I ask you a question here too? Why did they have to film this in the Keys in America? Couldn't they have just gone somewhere, like hopped over the pond, gone somewhere in France or gone somewhere in Spain, or if I can go to Jamaica, go to the Bahamas, where Michael can fly in and doesn't need a visa?
Yeah, that would be nice in theory. But, you know, Kalani and Asuelu had to bring their kids, and Kolini, so...
Oh, God. Do you know what? Why don't we stop here, Beatrice?
Yeah.
And we will continue the pod and get into the hot tub slime machine over there on Patreon. So if you guys want to watch the full video commentary from these two raccoons about 90 Day Fiancé, The Last Resort, make sure you go to patreon.com/reality TV cringe. There's so much freaking content on all kinds of shows. So if you want to get in the dumpster, we'd love to have you.
Yeah.
So go check it out.